Dapper Don Podcast. Dapper Don Podcast. This is your boy Dapper Don Diz.
Welcome to the Dapper Don Podcast. It's your boy Dapper Don Diz, and today we're going to discuss hip hop and all its moving parts, as we always do. We're going to discuss, of course, the continuing trend of young rappers dying. Rest in peace, Mo 3. We're going to talk about Jeezy versus Gucci Mane. He's replaced T.I. I know you're excited to hear that. Jeremiah, he's in the hospital for COVID, for being hospitalized for COVID. We're going to talk about Kevin Liles being Billboard's Assistant Executive of the Year. And is there such thing as a side dude? Can a woman truly have a side dude? We're going to get in that and so much more, man. But before we do that, I'd like for you to subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, our YouTube channel. And if you hear something you like, then hit the like button if you like something. You know? Make sure you show us some support. Smash that like button. But, man, without further ado, I want to get right into it. I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to respect your mind and your grind because I know y'all ready to get into what we got to talk about today. So for our first topic, we discussed the death of young up-and-coming rapper Mo 3. First, who was Mo 3? Mo 3 is a young rapper from Dallas. He was a 28-year-old, I think it was Melvin something. He was a very harmonic rapper. He's actually had a very good vocals. He really seemed like he could sing. He had a song called One of Those Days Again. That was a pretty decent record. I remember I actually came in here when I talked about Boosie and Webby beefing. And, well, not necessarily beefing, but Boosie kind of taking shots at Webby. And I said that I didn't want to hear Boosie diss Webby on a collaborative album we didn't even ask for. And that was the collaborative album, the one that he did with Boosie. He also had some songs with Kevin Gates. So, man, he was definitely making his rounds in the industry. He was getting himself established as an artist. And he was taken way too soon. So, not only that's who he was shot in Dallas. He was shot on Interstate 35. He actually got out of the car and fled. We're going to explain why he actually did that. Information just came out about that, but he was shot in his hometown of Dallas. Why he was killed was still unknown. They believed that he was leaving a young lady's house where he believed he was being tailed, where he believed he was being followed. Now, I don't know why he may not have called for backup. Maybe some homies like, yo, I'm on the highway, then these dudes are trying to get off. I don't know. Knowing people, they're not going to be there right when you need them. You know, that's just how people are. So I don't know why it was, but he was killed on the highway. He was shot in the back of the head. And honestly, I don't know who it was that was the gunman. I believe they said there's an arrest. But it's been so many rappers shot. I forget which ones got arrested and which ones did not. But like I said, he died just over the weekend. It was like he was just alive, man. And of course, Baton Rouge rapper Lil Boosie had a response for it. He was super surprised. You know, he was angry. He was he was Boosie being Boosie. This was the guy that we know him to be. But Boosie also had an eventful weekend. So while at the funeral, not the funeral, but the balloon releasing, where they did this for Nipsey too. Trade the Truth did this one for Nipsey. So I guess this is a Texas thing. Or it may not be, and it may just be the only time I'm hearing about it was in Texas. But they do a balloon release where they release a bunch of balloons in the air, say rest in peace Mo 3, all his fans, all his supporters, just everybody who had love for him. And Boosie was in attendance. He even did I believe performed. But ultimately, they shot up Boosie's Sprinter van while he was at the event. I remember there's a song that Mozzie did, that a guy named Mozzie, he's a West Coast rapper. He did a song called Unethical and Deceitful. And I was just thinking about that song and how everything that he rapped about, that he dropped this song top of 2020. So he probably recorded in 2019 or earlier than that. And how everything he was talking about on that song happened. Like he said something like, wreck his load trying to blow his candle. Felt disrespected when I kicked his dead homie's candle. And I thought about Mo 3. When I heard about Mo 3, I thought about that because the reason Mo 3 was running down the interstate is while he was driving, trying to evade the actual shooter so they couldn't get up next to him, he wrecked his car. And instead of, I guess, like relishing in the pain of the car wreck, he just off instinct got out and started running. I mean, on one end, everybody said, oh, he should have this, he should have that. You going off of instinct. You're going off of adrenaline. And that shows a will to survive. That shows somebody who was at least thinking, well, how can I get out of this situation? All right, this is where I'm at now. Maybe the car couldn't move. Maybe he couldn't get it out of reverse. Maybe he didn't feel he had enough time. Maybe he thought if he get out on foot, if he get out on foot, maybe he can kind of like juke his way out of it or do something. But ultimately, they chased him down. He was a pretty stocky kind of guy, but he wrecked his car. That's why he was actually walking outside on the side of the road. Many people don't really know that. So before you ask why was he out the car, why did he get out, it sounds fishy. That's why. Or at least that's what's being reported right now. But yeah, I never thought I'd see the day Boosie get shot, honestly. It just seemed like he was so out the way, so grown, so past that, and he was just so loved. But all of this is kind of working against his theory of getting shot in your hometown because, well, he said killed. He did say killed. Mo3 was killed in his hometown. And I believe now, this is just me. This is my speculation. I can't prove this in any form or way, but I believe the people who did that to Boosie felt like, I'm going to get him before he come to get us. I think the people who did that to him felt like this guy's going to double back for him anyway, and this may be the only time I can get to him. And I remember T Grizzly talking about that one time. You know how these young dudes think. He was saying, if I got an issue with somebody, I'm not going to spare him just because you're in the car with him. He was saying if I was talking to somebody who I'm mutually cool with, he said, I'm not going to spare you. I'm not going to spare him just because you're in the car with this guy. So that just puts you in their mindset. They believe, in being opportunists. They see the opportunity, they're going to strike. And, that's how these young dudes think. He was allegedly shot in the leg. They shot up his Sprinter van. I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't know what him and Mo3 was doing. Mo3 was actually in the Mike Tyson video. The Mike Tyson Boosie podcast interview. He was the guy sitting right next to him. You probably didn't even peep that. And as much as T.I. Has been such a positive force in hip-hop, a positive force in the election, just ultimately a good voice, a lot of people are feeling like right now what he said at this moment, people prisoners of the moment, that they're wanting to cancel him because his statement saying, handle your beef in your city. Now, people find this to be distasteful. People find this to be something that somebody else, that he should have said it at another time. Not even that it's necessarily wrong, but saying you're coming to Atlanta where we are trying to move things forward and you're pushing us back, which I don't know what he means by move forward because Atlanta is active. Atlanta is moving. Atlanta during the protest was moving. In the streets they moving. It's a wild city to be. And that's no shade from me. I was born in Atlanta. I ain't got no problem with Atlanta. But, it's a wild city as it is, but I don't know what he thought. I don't believe they had a beef like that because people believe this was in connection to King Von. They believe this was in connection to King Von and him getting shot out in Atlanta. And I don't think King Von, because a lot came out about that. Another thing, a lot came out about that. It found out that Quando Rondo, the guy who was allegedly involved in all of this, got into the fight, blah, blah, blah. According to what I read on Hip Hop DX, they said he was sitting in the car. He was asleep in the car. I'm not mad at that. I'm going to the car too. Ain't nothing like washing off an ass whooping with a nice little rest in the car. We all been there. It's like, you know what? The drinks was slow. The girls was bougie. I get out in the parking lot. I'm getting punched all in my face. My hookah was, because it was at a hookah lounge, my hookah wasn't popping like I wanted to be popping. Too many people on one hookah. I'm just going out in the car. I'm tired. This has been a long day. And you wake up and your brother done killed King Von. You like, well, how do you feel? This is what they saying. They saying he was asleep in the car. I don't know how they know he was asleep in the car. I don't know how they know he was asleep in the car. Maybe I don't get that. When they say that was the fight, because there's a video of him punching Quando Rondo. Quando Rondo is not under investigation for the murder of King Von at all. They say the case is closed. They have who they believe is involved. And they said King Von, so I don't even know if he's murdered first degree murder. I don't know if this is first degree murder. This thing may get dropped down to a certain degree because Georgia has some very loose gun laws as far as they're concerned. And they're saying King Von was the aggressor. King Von set it off with them. And King Von already had an open case in Atlanta. He already had an open case in Atlanta for robbing and getting into it with some rapper. That's what I initially thought when I heard about this. I say, man, this is just some more of that same stuff. You know, you out here robbing. He probably got shot by the guy. He robs people or whatever. You know how this go. You rob my brother, cousin, whoever. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it is, bro. But you never know what this thing about with these people, man. It could be about anything at any given time. But they say Quando Rondo was sleeping it off. You know, it ain't nothing wrong with that. It ain't no shame in that young man. He was out the way. He was just out the way. And Von got in his own way, man. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. I mean, of course, rest in peace to the brother. He was a prolific songwriter. He was a prolific storyteller. Let me tell you that. And as a matter of fact, his album did 25K when it first came out last week. Welcome to O Block. I think it did 41K this week. So he's seeing an increase in sales. His team is saying he owned all his own music. So if he owned his own music, they eating, his family eating. Like I said last week, man, I just hope Dirk doesn't put himself in a position where he feel like he got to try to get some get back for Von. Because at the end of the day, bro, you got somebody else who can handle that. You got other people who can handle that. You know, a lot of people throwing NBA Youngboy name into it. But as much as NBA Youngboy has made himself a villain with G Money and what else, he said, and even I accused him, when you start seeing more about the facts, and I guess I should have waited for the facts, that's on me as well. I'm not just saying for mainstream media, me as well. We should have waited to see more of the facts. This was just a simple club fight, and Von ran up on somebody who went with all that woofing. You know, because I got a partner from Chicago, man. Got a partner from Chicago. Shout out to my dog, Cal. They are a lot quicker, right? Like as a Southern dude, I consider myself pretty smart. I consider myself pretty quick, pretty savvy, but they just notice a little more. Like I'll give you a little story, and I don't talk much on this, but this is back when I was 20, so this had to be like 2009, 2010. Me and my dog and my brother, we trapping out the apartment, whatever. Because we was just in a tough space, man. We was in a tough space. His job was trying to pull some fugazi stuff. My job was doing some illegal stuff with us when it came to like making you clock on, scheduling you for 8 hours, but making you clock on and off, like going to lunch. So you ultimately there for like 8-10 hours, but you're only getting paid for like 4 hours. So it was super illegal stuff, and that's no excuse, but we ended up turning to the street. So we was trapping out the house while I'm on probation at that. And I remember one time he said he came back in the house. He was like, "Nah, those undercover cops outside. He said something. I believe we was at the corner store and he seen them. He's like, "Nah, them undercover cops." And I'm kind of looking at him like, okay, what makes you say that? Lo and behold, like a week later, the people next door get busted and Vice kick in the house behind our house. It's like an alley separating the house, a driveway, an alley, whatever you want to call it, separating apartments. There's an apartment right behind there. Vice came in there, boom, kicked in the door. And he called it. He said it. And it looked like the people who he pointed out looked like one of the people that was out there. You know how they mask up when it's Vice. When it's like Vice, they wear masks and whatnot. But yeah, this was about 10 years ago when we really got into it. And the reason I bring that story up is because, you know, people who come from big cities like that, it's hitting to be a little quicker on their feet than maybe down here in the South. But with that can lead to a certain level of arrogance. That can lead to a certain level of cockiness that you think is sweet, that you think that you're in a position where nothing can happen. I think Von felt like he could walk up and start a fight in the middle of Atlanta and no one would do nothing because people roll out the red carpet for you when you're in the South. My dog came here with that same mentality too. And, you know, I'm not going to put our business out there, but it didn't always go so smooth for my partner. You know, that was my brother. I was riding it wrong or right, but that didn't always work out for the better for him. And sometimes you just can't underestimate your environment or the people you dealing with. I'm sure you probably thought it was smooth because if you look at the video, Quando, Rondo, and King Von used to be cool. They had like Instagram videos and them like cutting up and all this other stuff. And I guess he thought this was just gonna be a fist fight. And it sounded like two friends who just let it go, but it's always the entourage. And this was Von brother. Von brother felt like, nah, I'm not letting that go. And Von didn't have a strap on him. I don't know who else had whatever, but he was still the aggressor. So sometimes you come to an environment and you might have an upper hand, like mentally, where you may be a little more on it, right? You may be a little more witted or a little more witty than your opposition, but don't ever think that just puts you in a position where you can completely slip or you can completely disrespect your environment. Because at the end of the day, they still drill down here. They still get busy down here. It may not be as quick as a big city, may not be as quick as LA or Chicago or New York City, but when it's that, it's that. When it's up there, it's stuck there with us. You know, it ain't faking. When it's up there, it's stuck there. It ain't cake. Shout out to Savannah. Savannah been about it. Duval been about it. New Orleans, like, it's up there, it's stuck there, but it is different. It's not necessarily where we as boastful. You know, we're not as whatever. You know, it's just not like in the big city. Even though we're technically big cities. You know, Atlanta's for sure a big city. I would honestly say one of the most successful black cities, period. Like cities with such a large black population. I think a lot of people agree with that statement. But since we own Atlanta and we talking about the influence of Atlanta, T.I. and Jeezy, that ain't happening no more. That's a done deal. Nip that in the butt. That is over. It is now. Wait for it. I wish I had a drum roll. I should. I'm going to put a drum roll in here next time. Jeezy and Gucci Mane. Who is picking these lineups? I know everybody think this is such a good bout because, you know, there was gunfire between them. There was beef between them. They are iconic. They're like twins musically. Like one's a little more lighthearted. The other one's a little more cool. So Icy is like a battleground where it was like a mix, a mesh of the both of them. But, nah, dog. I mean, Gucci Mane had a longer run. Jeezy had a stronger run. But I don't know what Gucci doing when he put Tear It Up. Oh, no, he gonna play, what's that Trey Songz record? It's 4 a.m, she calling my phone. She want 4 a.m. I'm assuming that's the name of it. That was a hot joint, too. Tear It Up at 4 a.m. I'm going 4 a.m. Nah, Tear It Up, because I've never really been a fan of Jeezy. Not Jeezy. I've been a big Jeezy fan. Never really been a fan of Gucci Mane. He always had a very nasally flow, like a nasal, like he got nasal passages. Something going on. I've never really liked his flow, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's solid. He seemed like a solid dude. He fresh to death. I always like his cars. He got beautiful women in the videos. Aesthetically, everything's working. The brother physically looks good. Both of them look healthy. But nah, I've never been a fan of Gucci. I've never really been a big fan of Gucci. Well, he got a record with Nicki Minaj. Nicki slid on that joint. Gucci got plenty of songs with Nicki Minaj. I'm talking about the latest one where they felt like she was taking shots at Remy. That one right there, that one's hard. That one's there hard. Okay, because Nicki's verse on that was sick. But what he gonna do when he play Trap or Die? He gotta pull out So Icy now. That's the only thing you can go up against Trap or Die with. They got a lot of joint records too. They got like Black Tea together. They got a lot of songs, man. I wonder now, more importantly than the songs, right? We already got into the songs. Them sitting, are they gonna be in the same room? The fact that they're gonna be in the same room, because here's what Gucci has to realize: if this was 100 songs, you got them. 100 songs, you got them just because you have 101 projects. If you got 101 projects, you're bound every project at least. All you need is just one song off every project. So you go into 20. We're just saying songs that sound good. I'm sure Jeezy has more released songs that sound good. Not Jeezy. Gucci Mane has more released songs that sound good than than Jeezy has. But you got to go up against Dope Boys Go Crazy, In My Hood. You got to go up against I Love This. What's the other one? Chevy standing so tall, looking down on y'all. All I got to tell you, I do this. Ross Records. Let's talk that. They got Ross Records. He got the Hustlin' remix. He got Every Damn Hustlin' remix for Jeezy. But Gucci got a gang of them, man. Gucci got a gang of Ross verses. He might got some of the most fire Ross. Ross gives Gucci a certain level of respect. Now I don't think much other people is really giving him out here, man. I don't know. And there's also the Jay-Z verse. We're gonna get into 2 Chainz. Why 2 Chainz say he ain't sweating no Jay-Z verse no more. He ain't even focused on that. But okay, so we talking Jay-Z verses now. Gucci Man ain't got none. I think Gucci just met Jay. But what legendary verses what legendary features can he pull out? He's got a lot of Wayne. Steady mobbing. Okay, when he put on Steady Mobbing, that's what he gonna play against what Jeezy record? Lil Wayne Steady Mobbing versus, I don't know. Why am I drawing a blank right now? Why am I I keep thinking Standing Ovation, but that ain't the song I'm talking about. But Steady Mobbing, that's a win. That's a win for Gucci. Because those two birthed the whole sound together. Really, what we know is trap music. They birthed that sound. Wayne, if you marry Wayne and Gucci Mane's flow, you get everybody. You know, it's kind of like, you know how you can have kids with one person and all those kids come out distinctively looking different, but they all look like they came from the same 2 people. That's kind of like what it is. Like 21 Savage, he has like a darker flow to go with his, a little bit more slower. But I hear a lot of Gucci in that. I hear a lot of Gucci in it. He don't quite grip the beat like Wayne. He's more along Gucci side. While you go over to Uzi Vert, that's a lot of Wayne in that. As a matter of fact, Uzi just dropped something with Future. I didn't listen to it. That ain't really my vibe for real. But he dropped something with Gucci, and I'm listening. And I listen to Uzi sometimes, and I think, man, this kid is the only one in his generation who has the sound like Wayne and the bars like Wayne. I don't know if he always does that, but I've heard enough from him. And we got off to a wrong foot because he did the Hot 97 freestyle one time. He was like, I don't rap over old beats. So I was like, oh, I don't like this guy already. I already don't like this guy. But, man, he doing 400K in the first week. You got to respect it at a certain point. At a certain point, you got to respect it. But what was I getting on to? Yeah. So, Steady Mobbing. Bro, it's a given. It's a given what's going to happen when Gucci Man goes up against Jeezy. Jeezy is going to watch him in a 20-song battle. In a 20-song battle, I don't see Guap beating. He got some joints with Mulatto. Freaky Girl can get that gets tears it up out of there. No. I already put Four in the Morning up against Tear It Up. Freaky Girl, well, Christina Aguilera. Jeezy gonna have to pull out Christina Aguilera against Freaky Girl. Man, it's crazy. I'll be here all day trying to figure out. I don't know what they're gonna play. I don't know what the vibe is gonna be. Believe it or not, Gucci, if you want to talk lyrical, Gucci got some records that's like just bar heavy where he's spitting, and he can probably get Jeezy out of here with that. Because there's a B-side factor to these battles. Everybody keeps talking about, all of these hits just on one album. You win these verses by having a consistent career where you can pull from so many different eras. Like, boom, I can pull from here and from here and from here and from here and from here. And if you pull all your sound, like let's say Bobby Brown went up against Usher. And you be like, oh man, I love My Prerogative. I love Don't Be Cruel. I love all this Mr. Telephone Man. All that's cool, but what about when he does Nice and Slow, You Make Me Wanna, Kick It Up a Gear, You Don't Have to Call, what's What's this other joint? Come on, man. You Got It Bad. He tasted the You Got It Bad. Now he out of his 8701 bag. He jump in the Confessions bag. You out of here with that bag. He get out of that bag, get in his EDM bag. He had that space. Y'all remember when he had the EDM's flow? Yeah, he was just trying something different. You know, Usher gonna do Usher, man. That's the beautiful thing about Usher. Usher gonna be Usher no matter what no matter what sound you put him in. And he still got relevant joints, right? Now, if they're going in a 20 versus battle, true enough, Bobby Brown can produce enough songs. But you can't take me to as many eras as he can take me into. So it's not just about the number of hot songs you have. Because everybody said that about T.I. and 50. Because I'm also going to get into that Whack 100 thing that 50 in games should be a thing. That is a good matchup. That's a better matchup than you think it is. T.I. is out of 50's league in the way Versus is set up. I know y'all gonna kill me in the comment section. The way Versus is set up, T.I.'s out of 50's league. T.I. can take you from I'm Serious, Rubber Band Man, 24s, then he can switch your gears and go into Urban Legend. So he got a platinum album in 50 Cent's reign. He has a platinum album in Wayne's reign, and he has some really solid albums in Drake's reign. So it's like I can take you to several different areas, and I can also show you, and if we put his acts next to 50's acts, as much as 50 may have more culturally relevant acts, he can say I brought the first blonde female rapper, sent her platinum. I gave you B.O.B. Young Dro's hilarious as a person. We Be in the City remix. Like, even as a CEO, he's out of 50 Cent's league. 50 can play Buck. I mean, anyway, but Whack 100. So anyway, I think that I don't know who T.I.'s gonna go up against. He's got to go up against Wayne. Because I'm glad Jeezy went up against Gucci Mane, even though looking at these lineups, we should switch Gucci Mane out for Ross. We should have switched those two. Gucci should have been going up against 2 Chainz, and Ross and Jeezy should have been going up against each other. That's how that should have been, but maybe that was a tough thing to do. Because, see, that's better. Because you still got a beef with Jeezy and Ross, but they kind of stood side by side with each other. You feel me? Like, Jeezy, although I think Ross takes that. I think Ross takes that easy. This is just my personal opinion. I think Ross takes that easy because I believe it's all about being able to take people into different eras. If you can't take them into those eras, I don't see how you're going to get a win. I don't see where your win comes in at if you trap or dime me to death. He can go from Every Day I'm Hustling, put on some Mink records, some Wale records. Everybody keeps talking about how 2 Chainz kept saying, oh, I know he got Jay-Z versus. He got Jay-Z versus, Drake versus, Prime Wayne versus. He's got, when it comes to features, this man is Khaled's right-hand man. He has features galore. So, I think that would have been a better bout. Gucci Mane versus 2 Chainz, Jeezy versus Ross, T.I. versus Wayne, and 50 versus The Game. I think 50 and Nelly would have been a good one too. 50 and Nelly would have, but that would have just been, the clash of 03. That's all that really would have been. I don't know. I like Luda and Nelly. That was a good one. That was a better than lineup that I think people gave him credit for. And that was the first one we seen that you can beat somebody out of your league. If you line up your songs right, you can beat somebody out of your league. That's how this stuff goes. I don't know who else they're going to have. I enjoyed the DMX and Snoop Dogg one. That was pretty cool. DMX and Snoop Dogg, that was definitely pretty cool. But we're going to see what this Jeezy and Gucci Mane thing cut out to be like, man. Yeah, that for sure did it. What else? Oh, man, I'm talking about what else. We got to talk about Jeremiah being in the hospital, man. They have hospitalized my main man, Jeremiah, man. Jeremiah, if you don't know, broke out on the scene with birthday sex. His cousin was a member of Day 26. I forget what his name was. Was it Willie? Was that his brother's name? Not his cousin's name, Willie? Anyway, the guy from Day 26, I believe he was even on Love and Hip Hop. But both of them from Chicago. So the Chicago native has been hospitalized in the ICU due to COVID-19. And this thing is such an interesting, and I made an interesting statement to one of my partners, man. I said that COVID-19 has killed more healthy rappers than sick rappers. You know, like this pandemic has killed more healthy rappers than sick rappers. This is the first artist that we've had that might actually die from the disease in the pandemic. I believe, like I said, I believe that this whole pandemic comes from the fact that these dudes is at the house more, they're at the crib more, and they beefing. They're in their city more. And in the first few months, you didn't see as much because, you know, dudes was in the house. You spent the last few years on the road building something up, and now you getting some much needed TLC. But now you at a point where I think some of these rappers jumping back in the field. I think they jumping back in the game. I think all of that boasting and wolfing and bragging about the money I got and I'm getting it like this and I'm getting it like that. I think the minute you got 6 months of no shows, it dried up and you started pushing what you could get your hands on. I think what used to be your party favor friend, you know, the friend that bring the party favors, that became the plug. You was like, bro, you know how I used to come by and get a pound? I need like 30 of them. And them pills. And the lean. And I'm going to need, you know, whatever else you can get your hands on. Because it's serious for me right now. Free Rollo. Rollo was in the field with it. Rollo, I can't believe Rollo was really... Some people, it's such a trip, boy. Like, I thought he was just showing off, like, rap money. I was like, well, he seems to be a lot more successful for a rapper than I thought he would be. He's showing off that dope boy money. This boy wild, man. Shout out Gucci Man. Gucci Man know how to find them on. It's too real for TV. These new kids is just too real for TV, dog. They getting on before they get on for real. So now you got a bag, and I think you out here doing stuff that just isn't. We getting to see what happened. Why rappers? They used to say, there used to be this real big complaint that labels didn't sign like the real dudes. Now we seeing why. Because it's like, yeah, I see you talented. I know I can sell you. I guarantee you can make music and I can sell you. I don't know if you're going to be alive next year. Fair enough. We don't know who's going to be alive next year. I don't think you're going to be alive next year is what I'm trying to say. And we're not going to put our money behind you because, yeah, Postmortem album sells really good, but that's nothing compared to back catalog of an artist that's still alive. I'd rather do, you know, $2 million with a guy that's alive for 10 years than $20 million with a guy that died. Because I'm sure you could have made more off Pac off touring. You see they doing holograms. They like, we got to get him on tour. Dead or not, we got to get you on tour. It's going to be a lot more hologram performance to come. A lot more hologram performing to come. But yeah, Tupac. Nah, I wasn't even talking about Tupac. I'm talking about, Tupac. I wasn't even talking about Tupac. Jeremiah. Jeremiah is sick. Jeremiah's in the hospital. Man, prayers up to Jeremiah. Man, Jeremiah get on your record. It's going to be a hit. He knows how to make it sound like a certain way, man. He got a certain touch to it. One of the more prolific writers. One of the more prolific producers. One of the more prolific songsters. I know songstress is what you call a woman. So songster, is that what you call a man? Anywhere it goes, he has a real... You know, he really know how to make your joint a hit record. He done gave MMG so many hit records that ain't funny. He gave Drizzy, the girl, not Drizzy Drake, gave her a hit record. He's just talented, man. He knows how to flip the old records. He knows how to make his own records. He can adjust to the times. Super talented, man. Super talented dude. And we could be losing a legend, man. He a whole legend already since he dropped Birthday Sex way back in the gap, man. We could be losing a legend, man. Prayers up to him. We can't lose 2 Chicago artists in 1 month. We can't do that. That can't happen, man. That cannot happen. You know what I was just thinking about off a tangent? Not really not really onto whatever it was I was thinking about, but now that I'm thinking about it, you know what was I was thinking about? Chicago has become like the new LA in a way, right? Because I was watching this movie called Rampage, which was my first time seeing it. It had Naomi Harris and The Rock in it. And it was an okay movie. I wasn't in love with the characters, but the animal fight scenes was cool. That's good. The action was there. The characters, it was a cheesy. The character relationship was very cheesy, but the animals was there. And basically the animals terrorized downtown Chicago. And as I watched these animals terrorize downtown Chicago, I thought about, damn, the Joker has terrorized downtown Chicago. And I thought, damn, Transformers have terrorized downtown Chicago. And I thought, damn, a lot of movies in the last decade has been in downtown Chicago. And I stopped and thought about it. Chicago is a very beautiful city to shoot a movie in. Like, their lake is such a small lake, right? It's a cute lake. It's like a pond lake. Like, our river is a big river. It shows. It separates downtown from, we literally in Jacksonville. Even though geography, this isn't correct, when you cross a river, we consider you on a whole nother side of town now. Like, if you're on the east side and you're in Arlington, we think like automatically you're on the south side now. Well, no, you're still on the east side. Arlington is technically the east side, but even I, as an Arlington resident, look at Arlington as the south side. That's what happened when your river is just big like that. But they got a little lake. It's a cute lake though. And it's a super cute lake. But it goes so well. Like, it's like Venice. It's like Venice. I forget. I don't know where it's actually at. But you know how you ride on that little boat with the person singing and they like paddling on the back and you and your girlfriend sitting there in this romantic city riding this little pond down a downtown. It's cute. It's like that, but maybe bigger. Now, if you're from Chicago and you're like, bro, what the hell you talking about? It's humongous. I'm watching it from a Terminator's point of view, so I don't really have a to scale like for me. If I was standing in the middle of the lake, how I would feel about it. But, from a Terminator's point of view, it wasn't that big. And from the giant alligator's point of view on Rampage, it wasn't that big. So, excuse me. You know what? I do know how big it is because Twista did a music video on the river, and it did look kind of big. Now that I think about it, it looked kind of big because he had a whole yacht. He was going down a whole yacht out there. Okay, yeah. So anyway, it's not that cute of a river, but it's a river nonetheless, and it's a very cinematically beautiful downtown. When you look at The Dark Knight, when he was just standing on top of the building, you like that. I was talking to my dog. I was just telling y'all about when we was working at the hospital, and I was looking at the skyline in Jacksonville. I was like, man, that's a nice skyline. That's a beautiful skyline. That's a skyline you could be proud of. It's a nice skyline. Dog come out of there talking about, there ain't no skyline. You should see the Chicago skyline. I get what he's saying now, because Dark Knight did look pretty cool. It did look pretty cool. Whatever. Anyway, the reason I say that's like the new LA, they may have always shot a lot of movies in Chicago. I just don't remember seeing it as much as like I'm seeing now, big blockbuster movies taking place in Chicago. It's cinematically a very beautiful city. Whatever that black huge tower is, that's a very beautiful tower. Just the architecture, that's the word I'm looking for. The architecture in the building is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But I'm back on topic now. Jeremiah is sick. That's what we was talking about. We wasn't talking about Terminators. We were talking about Jeremiah. Jeremiah's sick, man. Rest up, Jeremiah. Blessed up, rest up, King. Blook shots. Look a shot in the air for the big homie, Jeremiah. He might have been one of the artists, like one of the first. Him and Chris Brown was the first artist of our age group to make a hit record. Like, because they took it from Usher, right? Like, they took the game from Usher and Omarion, guys who was like mid to early 80s. I think anybody like from 86 on. I was born in 89, so I feel like that Jeremiah era ushered us in. And Jeremiah was one of those names, and he's still here, so that's not to be understated, man. Let's talk Kevin Liles. Kevin Liles was Billboard's Executive of the Year of Old Man, Black Men Empower, Black men doing things, Black men making moves with each other. We can't. You thought I was gonna come in here and badger you down about Black men shooting each other on the interstate. Nah. We gonna talk about brothers doing it right too. We gonna talk about brothers stepping up and stepping out and stepping on ish. Let's get into it. Kevin Liles is Executive of the Year. Des, who's Kevin Liles? Kevin Liles is the man behind every name you've ever heard. Remember the Hard Knock Life tour with Jeezy, with Rockefeller and Rough Riders? He was one of the people behind that. He was the man behind. You might have heard Joe Budden take some shots at him. He was big. He was one of the big names at Def Jam. He was one of the big names just in the industry. Well, today, he is a founder and CEO of 300. 300, just to run off a few names that 300 has done. Migos was signed to 300 initially. Fetty Wap was signed to 300, and right now Meg Thee Stallion seems to be carrying 300. And 300 is fully focusing on Meg Thee Stallion, and they're making her more famous than I think. I feel like we're all just waiting on a Meg hit record. Am I waiting? Is it me? Am I waiting on a hit record that's already here? Is that possible? Can you wait for a hit record you already have? Because I'm feeling like she has radio records, but what's just like a hit? I don't know. I don't know. I remember there came a time when her executives came out when asked about how do they feel about her and her lawsuits with Kyle Crawford and whoever else. And they was saying pretty much, yo, you put up the numbers, everybody's going to treat you right. I don't know how true that is, but I know if you put up numbers, you can renegotiate your contract. That's very regular. That's very regular. That happens. That is a part of this industry. But Kevin Liles is behind Meg Thee Stallion right now. She's getting a big push, and he's just Executive of the Year, man. 300 has done a lot. He has done so much from being the guy behind the scenes to where now he's just the man on the scene. He's the person of rank in the office. He started it with Leo Cohen's. Leo Cohen's is now over YouTube's global music, whatever it's called. He's over that now. But now you got Kevin Liles, and Kevin Liles is running the ship, man. He's the captain of the ship. The brother's in charge, man. They gave him the wheel, and he put a sister in a position of power. And not only that, but she's getting to stand up. She's doing Saturday Night Live. She's standing up. She's got a message. She's doing more than just being that pretty hood chick that can flow super crazy, but she's actually now stepping into icon status and activist status, and this is what solidifies you in this industry. He knows how to make a solidified rapper. That's one thing I can tell you about him. The only thing I've ever heard really said bad about him was one time the Migos had an interview where they was talking about being signed to 300. They felt like 300 was holding them back, and I was like, well, you know, it is a label, and they was making it hard. And once they got off the label with 300, they made Bad and Bougie, which was a hit record. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, that may or may not be true, but 300 is giving artists more freedom than they're used to getting. They're getting a lot more freedom than they're used to getting. It was really looked at as an indie label. It had the vision of labels of our artists getting to keep their royalties, it was adjusting to the times. And he's finding a way to make a superstar while doing it. He's making an indie superstar, because if she hasn't dropped the album, well, she did announce the name of her album, her debut album, after 18 damn albums. We're getting a debut Good News album. I guess they don't want to call them mixtapes anymore. They just call them projects. They don't want to call them mixtapes anymore. How sad. But she's dropping that. She's doing her thing. She's making it bang. And he was Executive of the Year. They had more people. They had this list was comprised of pretty much, you know, people within the culture who were influencing from the Black Music Action Coalition. It was some more people, DJ Drama and Don Cannon. They was on the list, and they talked about building a company from Clark University to becoming one of the most prime. Now they have Generation Now, which I believe Lil Uzi Vert is signed to or was signed to. So, you know, they definitely making moves, making grooves, making it do what it do. And I got to give a lot of thanks to that. What else did I want to talk about? I felt like I told you about it. Is there such thing as women having side dudes? I'm gonna probably get in that later. I'm gonna probably get in that next week because it's a little more to talk about. It's more in depth. Ultimately, I guess what I really want to say, because I had a chance to actually talk it out with somebody, and once I actually verbally said it, I guess that's not really what I'm saying. So initially I said that women can't have a side dude because their mechanics of dealing with men is different than how men deal with women. Meaning when a man has a side chick, her whole entire priority is to be on the side. You never make your side the main entree. Macaroni and cheese is never your main entree. It's always a side. That's the ideal of a side woman, right? Where you have wifey is distinctively shown differently because of what you do for her, right? Like, she's the one that lives in your house. She's the one who you pay all her bills. Her first priority is your business. If somebody smash her, they done smashed wifey. Like, you tight about this. This is the woman you feel you give all your affection to, the woman you give all your love to. This is the one you want to spend your life with. This is the one. And the first thing, what really brought me to this point of view was, check this out, and I'm not saying this is right, but this is just the way things are. What if a guy has a baby with his main chick and his side chick? Regardless of how it's supposed to be, the main chick is going to get treated, the child from that main chick is going to get treated better than from the side one, because the relationship with the mother is always going to be better. Even if both the women find out, which they will, find out about each other, she still has priority. You feel me? Like, the side chick, she just stuck with whatever she can get. But the main chick, if she's willing to let this child over here go, meaning, like, as in not let it go, but say this exists, my man made this decision, she can still be at the top of the pile. The side chick, at best, even if she accepts that other child, well, she ain't really got no other choice, she's only best she can do is get child support. She'll never be in a position where she can only get a co-parent. Main chick still can get a husband. Even deeper than that, the main chick can come with children already, not want to have children with them, just saying, I got all the kids, I done birthed every person I'm going to birth, or if I do have kids, it's going to be after I get these ones raised, or to where I feel like I'm ready for that. And that may be a decade from now. He can be stepfather, be happy with that, play stepfather, side chick get pregnant, and he'll hide the baby from the main chick. You see how much he has so much priority over his life. While with a woman, let's say she ironically did have a side dude and a main dude, blase blah. Regardless of the main or side quality that's there, regardless of the quality, that's her baby. Men put kids before, will put their relationships before their children. They do it all the time. For a woman, that's her baby. She don't care who, if she was sleeping with both men, whether it's a side dude or the main dude, it's her baby. That baby's getting treated the same. The quality the man is going to be, how involved the man is going to be, regardless of what title she gives him, regardless of what title she hands out. Both of them getting on child support. Either one, whoever the father's getting on child support, they're going to get the same weekend visitation. She going to make it as even as possible. Regardless of what the relationship works out like, that child automatically takes priority. This is how women are. That's one fact. And the most important fact is how children are involved. What was my other fact? Because us as men, we have sides. And like I said, the side is only there to be the side. Like I said in the beginning argument, they're only there to be the side. With a woman, if she has a guy on the side, she's grooming him to be the next guy. She's weighing him out. And if he doesn't work out, fair enough, he waits in the wing. He becomes somebody that she kind of can turn to. He's already a body she done caught. So she'll keep going back to him so she knows how well, the pipe is. And this is what get a lot of guys make him thinking that side guy, is the fact that it's like, oh, well, we not together, but I pipe whenever, wherever, Whenever she's having problem with a man, she's in between men or whatever the case may be. But in reality, you can't be considered a side dude if when that guy is gone, she's starting to groom you. This is when I kind of changed my thought when I'm like, okay, well, that can technically be a side. Like, that's all this guy do is pipe. But most of the time, women aren't really doing it. The guy might just be somebody who gets around and he can move around, he can slide, he can get all slide with it, but she keeps dealing with him, she's gonna eventually want more responsibilities out of him. No woman lays up with a man that she doesn't eventually want more responsibilities out of. Women use sex to obtain things. There's no such thing as no strings attached. With a side chick, a guy is intentionally keeping a woman on this side. With a side dude, I guess technically, I have to agree that there can be to some functionality a side dude. The only reason you're the side is because you just don't have everything to be the main. Or you led her on to believe that you wanted more than what you actually did want. So you was a main that just didn't work out. You was a prospect that didn't work out. You ain't really the side. The minute she finds everything she's looking for, you out of there. Side chick always right here. She's not going anywhere because even because she's an ego boost. Even when he finds everything he wants, he'll still keep her. That's just how men are. A man, so if you are a side guy, I believe you're never a side guy. You're just a placeholder. You're a placeholder. If she getting 80%, she just needs pipe, you might be that kind of guy that's good for that. Or you might not really be the pipe guy. You may think you're the pipe guy, but in reality, she made the pipe guy the main guy, and you're just the dude to help with the bills. So you don't feel like such a side chick now, right? Such a side dude now. That ain't such a proud title now that you the guy. You don't want to be the bills guy. You want to be the pipe guy. But the pipe guy might have gotten that main position that you're talking about. Ultimately, that's what I think. I think because the way they treat their children, that there's no priority given with the children. There's no biasness in how they deal with the children after they get pregnant. There's just the functionalities of how we look at main chick and side chick. Men can't be in that because women only look for what they can replace, and they only fill voids with other men. While guys, we can have two women that are everything we want. We'll make one priority over the other, even though we could just pick one and be completely happy. So that's my whole argument. I'm sure you probably got your own opinions like, nah, dog, I done been a side dude, blah, blah, blah. It seemed to be something guys are proud to be. It seems to be something proud to be. I remember they asked, which one would you rather be, a side dude or a side woman? A side dude or the main dude. And I remember everybody said, I want to be the side guy. I'm like, well, why not be the main guy? You want to be the main guy because that's what she's calling you. That's not what you calling her. She look at you as the main guy. You just priority. You don't have to be the side guy. So, never be nobody's second place, fellas. Always be her main thing, even if you not her. Always be hers, even if she's not yours. Your number 5. Your 5th place should feel like you her first place. If you really bossed up like that, she gonna feel that way. So, anyway, that was my episode. Thank you for tuning in as always. It's your boy Dapper Don. I'm out.